Brisbane Big League. This week, Valley's Diehards and Wynnum Seagulls, both equal fourth on the premiership ladder, meet at Neumann Oval for this vital second-round match. Your commentators, former Australian captain Tom Raudonikis, ABC Sports' Warren Boland.
Hello everyone, glad you could join us. Just before we get into the action, a reminder that you can catch our Brisbane Big League match of the day every Sunday night with a replay every Saturday at 12 noon. 2 time slots, Sunday night and Saturday 12 midday. Now this match shapes up as a crunch clash between Valleys and Wynnum, and their whole season could well depend on today's result. Both teams equal fourth on the ladder with Souths, and the loser today could well drop back to sixth. Both teams on 12 points, both teams with 6 wins and 5 losses. If we look for a point of difference, though, let's look at the for and against. Valleys clearly superior in both categories. In fact, Valleys have the best attacking record in the competition, and they've scored double the points, almost double the points that Wynnum have managed. In many quarters, Valleys were the premiership hotshots this season, but they seem to have the shakes, Tom.
They certainly do. Well, 2 weeks ago, I said that Valleys will be playing in the grand final come September. But after their shock loss to Brothers last week, well, one must reconsider his thoughts. Now, Valleys have one big problem, and that's in their centres. Now, Andrew Crowther and David Boland, they're good players, but they do lack that little bit of pace, and also their defence sometimes is found wanting. Now, Wynnum, on the other hand, they must contain Eric Kennedy and his mobile pack of forward. Now, I think if they can contain Eric Kennedy, I think they could cause the big upset here at Neumann Oval.
And here come the Wynnum Seagulls. Usually it's the home team that comes out first, but in this case, Wynnum out there at fullback is Brad Morgan. On one wing, Brendan Brown. Ricky Taylor and Dean Penrose in the centre. Dale Jensen on the other wing. Danny Grimley in at 5'8". Steve Platt is the halfback. Ray Allen at lock forward. Brad Nairn is the skipper in the second row alongside Terry White. And the front row, Craig Greenhill, Scott Mathers, the hooker, and Daryl Jenner back in first grade. The coach is Gary Seaton. And Valleys led out by halfback Brett Daunt in front of their home crowd. At fullback is David Burke. On one wing, Gerard Kerr. The centre pair, Andrew Crowther and David Baildon. On the other wing, Andrew Duncan. The 5'8" is Tony O'Neill. Halfback Brett Daunt. At lock forward is Brett McKenna. The second row pair, Kahu Tweedy and Steele Retchless. And the front row, Wade Fenton, hooker Darren Fraser, and fellow prop forward Eric Kennedy. The coach, Jeff Naylor. Eric Kennedy, a powerful front rower for Valleys, 26 years of age, played with the Gold Coast Seagulls, originally from Brothers before that, and then with Central Queensland last year before linking up with Valleys. And Craig Greenhill had a very good game last week for Wynnum, even though they lost. Greenhill, 20 years of age, a Wynnum junior, and they'll be looking for big things, particularly in defence from him. Referee Stuart Burnt gets play underway. And the slight breeze blowing here, coming in behind Wynnum in this first half, Tom, but we've got a dry track and everything ready for fast open football.
Well, I think it will be a fast game here today. Wynnum must spread this ball wide and attack Valleys where they're weak, and I believe that's in their centre.
And Wynnum have made a lot of changes to their side. Coach Gary Seaton unhappy with the performance last week, and there are 7 new players on the field. 7 changes. That isn't just taking the axe to it, that's getting all the machinery out.
Well, even with those 7 players' difference, the Wynnum Reserve Grade 1, and they won quite well. But here we see a penalty going to Valleys.
The downtown rule, with the referee finding the Wynnum players going downfield too early in front of their kicker, and Valleys will shoot for goal. Gerard Kerr to attempt the penalty goal. He's tallied 110 points already this season, 43 goals and 6 tries, having a great year with the boot and scoring plenty of points with the try scoring as well. And he starts proceedings here at Neumann Oval. First points on the board, it's Valleys 2, Wynnum 0 after just a couple of minutes play. Wynnum get play underway from the boot of Brad Morgan. David Burke bringing it back. Good early start for Valleys. Always good to put first points on the board. Hitting it up through Steele Retchless. In the first round, when these two teams met, Valleys defeated Wynnum 30 points to 16. And Jeff Naylor making the point that Wynnum had a similar lineup on the field that day to the one that's actually going around today. There's been quite a bit of interchanging of players or movement between reserve grade and first grade through the season for Wynnum. And now Kahu Tweedy flicks it back to Brett Daunt for Valleys. He finds a bit of open space for Andrew Crowther. But Burke picks it up. It was knocked down. Kerr in from the wing. You can tell that it's very dry. No rain recently here at Neumann Oval because the grass is very brown, and the penalty has gone to Valleys against the markers, not facing up directly in front of the man playing the ball. Kerr with another chance to add a second early goal. Just 20 years of age, one of Valleys' State League representatives. Also played in the Queensland residence team. Right in front, 25 metres out. And the flags are up once more, so Valleys skip away to an early break, 4 points to 0. Ricky Taylor decides he'll kick off rather than Brad Morgan this time, and he hooks it out towards the touchline, but well taken by Tweedy. A heavy tackle comes in on him. Tweedy didn't like it, nor did the referee, and Daryl Jenner's been called out. The experienced 31-year-old Daryl Jenner back in first grade after a few weeks in reserve grade, but giving away the penalty there. Daunt looks for touch and finds it just inside the Wynnum half. Wade Fenton hits it up strongly, but met by three Wynnum tacklers. Daunt, one off the ruck. Dummies to Kennedy. Kennedy was knocked over on suspicion.
Early in this game here, we see the Valleys forwards. They're running off the half-back Brett Daunt. So what they're doing is they're playing the game wide, and they're going to use this ball very, very early.
Here's Daunt in the centre of the field, turns it inside to Retchless. He's running well, pushing away from a couple of tackles. Didn't go very far forward, though. Dummy half Darren Fraser gets it to Daunt. Works it wide to McKenna. Brett McKenna tossing it inside for Crowther. Referee says it was knocked on. And Wynnum have got it. Injuries to the Diehards, to Marty McKenzie and Bill Holmes have caused a reshuffle in their forward pack, and that's one reason that McKenna has had to move into the lock forward position. Last week it was Tony O'Neill moved from 5'8" into lock, but he's back at 5'8" for this match. Wynnum just short of halfway. Jenner. Met by Tweedy and also Kennedy. Driven back.
Well, Daryl Jenner, he's one of the old-timers for Wynnum, and they'll be looking for him to lead the way today or lead their forward pack. So really there's a lot resting on his shoulders today.
A short kick from Danny Grimley, not successful. Valleys have it. And Tom, really, it is a shake-up to drop 7 players from a side. That's really taken a chainsaw to them. I mean, surely while you're looking for these players to come in and have a fresh approach, and apparently the coach expects them to do exactly what he says, indicating that the players he's dropped weren't, but it must disrupt the combination.
Well, if I was the coach, I wouldn't drop 7 players because I don't think 7 players can play that bad. One must remember that East are at the top of the table, and they are the glamour side at the moment. So I think we will see what happens here today, whether it is the right decision or not.
And David Burke has stolen it out of the arms of Brad Morgan, and he's over for the try. It was a beautiful bomb. That really did give the chasers plenty of time to get through underneath it. Brad Morgan waiting. He went up for it okay, but David Burke went over the top of him, took it beautifully. And here it was, Brett Daunt, the halfback, puts it up high. David Burke coming from just behind him. He was onside. Morgan waits. He goes up for it, but Burke does even better, pulls it out of his arms and races in for the try. Beat a tackle to get there. That's a fine bomb and a fine try.
Well, good work here by the halfback, Brett Daunt. He puts the ball up very high. Actually, it's that high it nearly gets rain on it. But look at Brad Morgan go up for the ball. He doesn't take his eyes off it. But same with David Burke. Johnny on the spot, and a good try by David Burke.
Ricky Taylor thought Burke was going to throw the pass. He didn't. and stepped past him for the try. The experienced David Burke took that ball beautifully, the 26-year-old financial planner. Kerr has kicked 2 from 2, and this is right in front of the upright. And Valley's rattling Wynnum early on here. It's a great early lead, just 9 minutes of play gone. And Valley's leading 10 points to 0.
Yeah, a great bomb here by Brett Daunt, but look at David Burke, a la Aussie rule style, goes up for it, doesn't take his eyes off. And
Tom, no protection at all for Brad Morgan. None of the Wynnum players got back to try and block the path of the chasers. He was one out.
Well, Steve Platt was there, and he didn't even give him protection either, so really bad football by the Wynnum players. David Burke getting very involved early in this game, and he's after a big one today.
Kennedy tackled beautifully. That was great defence from Wynnum. Fine hit coming in from Greenhill. Well, a few of the East players felt the sting of Greenhill last week. And he just showed his tackling technique and determination then. Last week, East defeated Wynnum 22-0. Here's a great break by McKenna. Has support in O'Neill, who took the pass well. Pulled it in. Last tackle, 20 metres out now. Daunt gets it wide to Kennedy. Has a bit of space, tries to pop it to Crowther. Knocks it back. Play on with Wynnum. Tweedy gives it to Daunt. The kick, and Wynnum come up with it.
That was a great set of 6 there by Valleys. Like I said, they're taking the ball out wide off the halfback, but when the gaps start to appear up the middle, that's where Valleys go.
And now a penalty has gone to Wynnum. As bringing it up was Dean Penrose, and the tackle coming in from McKenna was a little too high for the referee's liking, and he's got 10 in the sin bin. Brett McKenna, 10 in the bin. A fiery redhead. And Grimley getting his chance at 5'8". And it is surprising to see Darren Whips in reserve grade, because Whips played very well when we saw Wynnum just a couple of weeks back. Played well at 5'8". But the coach, Gary Seaton, has taken the odds to it, and 80 minutes from now, or another 60 minutes from now, we'll know whether he made the right decision. Here's Crowther running well. Good pace and step, but a bad pass on the ground. Kennedy has to pick it up. Greenhill and Penrose get hold of him. 6 more tackles in there. It was touched. Daunt, Retchless, thumbing inside. Couldn't get on the outside of them, though.
Yeah, Retchless running across field and actually lost a few yards in that play, and Valleys seem to be a little bit disorganised at this stage of the match.
Fraser, dummy half to Daunt. Cuts out one, gives it to Kennedy. Penrose swung around his shoulders. Play on. It came off a Wynnum hand. Back inside from Tweedy to Kerr to Daunt. On to Fraser now. Good football by Valleys, taking advantage of the extra 6 tackles that they've got. Daunt. O'Neill. Getting it out to Baildon. He keeps it going to his winger. Played back by Andrew Duncan. And the Wynnum defence is regrouped now. Good solid work there. Daunt to Tweedy. He's found a hole. Wynnum player on the ground. Daunt has cut straight through, and Daunt races away for the try. Chased by Dale Jensen. But there was a collision in the back play which may have aided that try. Down on the ground is Darren Fraser for Valleys. And for Wynnum, Brad Morgan. Brad Morgan was knocked over in the collision, so there was no fullback. Daunt gets it out to Tweedy. Just in the back play, you saw 2 players go down on the ground. Tweedy did well, turning it inside to Brett Daunt, and he races away for the try.
Great work here by the little general, Brett Daunt. He runs across field, looks at the player coming inside him, but give a beautiful cut out there to Kahu Tweedy, who gave it back to Brett Daunt, and a beautiful, beautiful try, and Wynnum looked like being in trouble.
There he is, Brett Daunt, 26 years of age, born up Gympie way. Kerr handy to the post. He's kicked 3 from 3. And he adds 2 more points, and Valley stretch their lead. A very impressive early lead. Valley's now 16, Wynnum 0 after 24 minutes of play. And Craig Greenhill has been sent to the sin bin on a high tackle charge, if you like. 10 minutes in the bin. And I think he took Eric Kennedy down here. There it is. A high tackle came in the lead up to that try by Daunt.
But good work there by Kahu Tweedy, but a bad missed tackle by Dean Penrose from Wynnum.
Platt gets it to Morgan. Grimley, Taylor, out wide, racing down the touchline, Jensen. He's only 20 metres out. It's a good tackle by David Baildon to cut him down. 10 metres out now. Mathers. Platt gets it to Nairn. You can see the urgency of Wynnum here. They know that they need to try to get back into this match. Jenner dummying to the run around. Held onto the ball though. 15 metres out. And Wynnum have got the penalty against Valleys, holding him down. Fraser and Retchless, the offenders. And some determined play by Wynnum earns a penalty here as Daryl Jenner was held and pulled down from behind again by Fraser. And Brad Morgan right in front of the post puts Wynnum's first points of the match on. It's taken 25 minutes of play for them to get them, and they're still down by 14 points. It's Valley 16, Wynnum 2. Kerr with the restart. And no one from Wynnum very keen to get to that ball on the full. Ray Allen looked at it, so too did Brown. Allen, well tackled. Good tackle by Retchless. Now Jenner. I've got to say Daryl Jenner's probably working harder than anyone.
Yeah, he's the old campaigner. He's leading by example. Now, a lot of these other younger players, the lads who have come up, they've got to look at him and say, well, I can do the same thing.
David Burke had to go back after fumbling that kick from Taylor. Andrew Duncan. Well tackled by Grimley. Kerr. Daunt. Pass looked a little forward out to Kennedy. Kerr. Good hands here as Crowther steps off his right foot. Great run by Andrew Crowther. That's tremendous footwork and pace. Brett Daunt now racing away for the try, and oh, that's a great Valley's try. And wasn't that beautiful work by Andrew Crowther, the centre for Valleys? Brett Daunt scores his second try, and it's only early in the match, but that could just about seal it. Wynnum way behind in this match now. This try coming from their own side of halfway. Kerr got it out, and Kerr comes back into the play. There was the suspect pass out to Kennedy. There was a lot of football between that pass and the try being scored. Here's Kerr backing up, goes down the centre. Now he curves to the outside. He may have heard the call from Crowther. That's beautiful footwork from Andrew Crowther. Steps into the open spaces as he comes to the fullback Morgan, turns it inside to Daunt, backing up beautifully the halfback, and Steve Platt gave chase on his opposite number but couldn't get to him.
Good work here by a number of Valley's players, but look at this pass from Eric Kennedy. That's an Arthur Beetson pass, that, and then got the ball back to Kerr, who handled twice in the movement. Andrew Crowther, a little step, and who should be there? The captain, Brett Daunt. Isn't he having a blinder? And they're going to have to stop him somehow, cut his legs off or do whatever.
And Kerr has no trouble adding another 2 points. He's having a time of his life out there. He's kicked 5 from 5, and Valley's 22, thrashing Wynnum 2 at this point of the match.
Yeah, good hit work there by Andrew Crowther. Now, if Wynnum don't pick up their defence, well, this game could be a cricket score, especially with the little general there, Brett Daunt, who scored the try. With him leading the way, the score could end up 50.
The way they're going, Valleys might declare at half-time, Tom.
Well, just hope that Wynnum don't throw the towel in at this early stage of the match. I don't think they can get out of it. They can make the score more respectable.
That pass almost intercepted by Grimley. The bounce of the ball has gone Valley's way all day. Every time Wynnum try and upset their attack, if they get a hand in there, it always goes back to Valleys. But that's certainly no excuse for the scoreline. Lack of control has cost Wynnum. Every time they manage to get into an attacking position, they aren't able to go on with it. And their defence obviously missing tackles.
Well, they're allowing the Valleys players to get the ball away. There should be one underneath and one coming up over the top to shut the ball off.
Tweedy couldn't hang on to it, and Ray Allen has it for Wynnum. A bit of wrestling going on with Crowther and Allen, and the penalty goes to Wynnum. Andrew Crowther, who figured in the lead up to that try a moment ago.
Yeah, Crowther held Ray Allen down a little bit too long, and Ray Allen takes offence but gets the penalty.
And the kick takes play midway between the Valley's quarter and halfway. Jenner the decoy, it goes to White. Plath, Allen. We've got two Bronco brothers there, Steve Plath, the brother of John, and Ray Allen, the brother of Gavin. As that pass came out behind Morgan, and lucky to get away with it.
Very lucky to get away with that. Daryl Jenner there shouldn't have passed the ball, but then again the other players too weren't concentrating and very near lost it.
Grimley's made the break, goes through to Burke, shrugs him off, still going Danny Grimley. That's a great run. David Burke going right over the top of him as he tried to cut the pass off. Now a long ball comes out. There's a chance here for Wynnum, and they're over for the try. Dean Penrose scores, running onto a beautiful long pass which went right over the top of the Valley's defence. Dean Penrose scores Wynnum's first try. They need a few more of those, but that'll give them some heart. At dummy half, it was Steve Platt through the beautiful long ball, put it out in front of Dean Penrose, who was deep enough to run onto it, outflank the the Valley's defence.
Yeah, young Steve Platt, a long ball out to Dale Jensen, and he scores a very good try. Actually, it was Dean Penrose.
Dean Penrose, 21 years of age, a Storman, one of the many Wynnum juniors in this side. I tell you what, you can't complain about lack of tries in the Brisbane competition. Maybe the defence could be a bit tougher, but they certainly score some tries, and Brad Morgan aiming to convert it, but that's a woeful attempt at goal. There's been 4 tries scored already in the match, and Valley's lead by 22 points to 6.
Yeah, young Steve Platt, he's been having a good game here today. He could see that the Valley's players were short out wide in a long pass to Dean Penrose, and in a try, and they needed that try just before half-time.
Kerr gets play underway once more, and he puts it out towards the touchline. An awkward bouncing ball there from Nan. Still 7 minutes remaining in the first half. Kennedy holding on to Greenhill, who throws him off. Greenhill back on the field after 10 in the sin bin.
But are Valley's going to become complacent? That's the big question, and if they do, well, Wynnum could get back into the game.
Both teams scoring a try while Greenhill was in the bin. So Wynnum can't complain too much about that. Platt gets it to Brown. Throws it on the ground as he turns it inside, but White picks it up well and crosses the halfway line.
Valley's players short out wide. They must let the ball go here, Wynnum.
Allen gets it to Taylor. Now it's gone wide of Penrose, and Valley's come up with it through Crowther. The execution a little clumsy there. Maybe they weren't deep enough to be able to run onto the pass.
Definitely the Wynnum players far too shallow. They must have depth in that back line, but they've also got to concentrate, keep their eye on the ball, and they're not doing that.
Daunt, Tweedy. Benton hit hard, but he gets out of the tackle.
Well,
It looked as if Mathers had wrapped him up.
Well, Fenton had 3 Wynnum players on him. He just shrugged them off and made another 10 metres.
That kick was touched in flight. Penrose gets back to it. Ankle tap by Retchless and McKenna there. McKenna also back from his stint in the sin bin. But Penrose has been hurt in the tackle. It is Dean Penrose taken by Retchless, but McKenna coming in over the top of him to finish him off, and he certainly did it.
Looks like he didn't miss him there, Warren.
Allen gets it away to White. And Penrose is still down on the ground. He may have been hit in the head as McKenna came over the top. Mathers ducks away from a tackle. Scott Mathers in at hooker from Mark Glidden in this match. On the blind side, Taylor could run it here, and he does. Gives it to Jensen. Spins away from one. It's the last. He has to keep it alive. Puts the kick down to Duncan. It is from the far wing. Andrew Duncan came across to help out the fullback well. Good anticipation from the winger on the last.
Wynnum should look at that a little bit more often, because Valleys tend to get a little bit short on the blind, and even on the sticks tackle. They should be running that football down Valleys' blind side.
Wynnum was short on the blind again, but it went to the open side. Fenton holding it up. Wynnum with just 12 men in the defensive line at the moment, because Penrose is still down in back play. Here's McKenna. Last tackle. Daunt with the kick. Down to Brad Morgan. And it beats him into touch. Great kick from Brett Daunt. Brad Morgan racing back in his 11th season with the Wynnum club, but nothing he could do about it. Morgan did everything right, showed plenty of pace and experience, but the bounce just beat him. White. And that is half-time. Well, it might not be all over, but Valley certainly have a great lead. They were in front 16-0 at half-time. Valley's lead Wynnum 22-6. A one-sided half of football, but look at the stats. The scrums are 4 apiece, none against the feed. The penalties are 4 apiece. Tackles in possession tells the story, though. Valleys have had the ball for 74 tackles. Wynnum just 51. If we look at the error count, look at the Wynnum missed tackles, 15 in all compared to the Diehards 6. Handling errors also, 2 bad passes, 3 drop balls by Wynnum, very costly, 20 errors overall to Valley's 9. So Wynnum get the second half underway with the job in front of them, but a far from impossible task, down by 16 points. Valley's going to make it difficult for them by steaming up the middle. That's a good run by Wade Fenton.
Wynnum, they've got it all ahead of them. They've got to pick up every aspect of their play. They've got to pick up their ball running. They've got to cut their mistakes down. And especially their defence. It's really got to pick up and put these Valleys players on the deck.
Eric Kennedy just short of halfway. Daunt cuts from one side of the ruck to the other and kicks with the breeze down towards the corner post. And that breeze will be of some assistance to Valleys in this second half, because Daunt does have an accurate kicking game.
Yeah, for those people with double tickets, the winning double
First penalty of the second half goes to Wynnum against the Valleys players. McKenna in particular, slow to get off the tackle player and let him play the ball.
Yeah, Brett McKenna, he was too slow getting off the Wynnum player, and the penalty was warranted. It gives Wynnum a nice early start into this second half, and let's see them do something.
It's Greenhill charges onto the ball. Good burst from him off the tap. Now it's Jenner. Taken well by McKenna low with Retchless. If we have a look at the tackle count from the first half, still Retchless leading the way with 17 tackles from Kahu Tweedy and Eric Kennedy. And for Wynnum, Brad Nairn, 19 tackles, the second rower. But look at that. Danny Grimley and Ricky Taylor, the 5'8" and centre, second and third highest tacklers for Wynnum.
That's absolutely disgraceful. It just shows you that the Wynnum forwards aren't doing their work.
As Taylor throws a pass out the back, but Wynnum unable to hang on to it.
Well, that pass of Taylor, he flicked that ball back like flick passes. They use them in basketball, not in rugby league.
Baildon, 10 metres short of halfway. Now it's Kerr. Gets it up to the halfway. Kennedy, short ball for McKenna. Good pass now to Daunt, and Daunt could score his third try. He's got too much pace for him, the little halfback. And that's a tremendous burst from him. Running off, good work from his forwards. And that really sets the Seagulls back on their heels now. 26 points to 6 in favour of Valleys. Great burst by Brett Daunt. All started by the big men. Eric Kennedy, the short pass onto McKenna, he's locked forward. He cuts through. Good pace by McKenna and the swerve. And Daunt, who's been backing up beautifully all day, a la Terry Lamb. right on the spot at the right time, and too much pace for Brad Morgan.
Woeful defence here by Wynnum. Look, they just can't knock anything over. Big Eric Kennedy, he's just making fools of them. And the ball went to Brett McKenna, the lock forward, and who should be there? The little general again, and scores his second try.
Kerr with 5 from 6, and this one again fairly close to the posts. He hits them solidly around the corner. He pushes this out to the right, though. Might have been a little too easy for him. Just lost concentration, and the score remains 26-6 in favour of Valleys.
Valleys players, they're just making yardage all the time. They're making yards up the middle, making yards out wide. But I said that Brett Daunt, that was his second meat pie. Actually, it was his third try. So good work there again.
Taylor gets play underway once more. They've had quite a few restarts already in this match, Wynnum. But the Wynnum forwards not positioning themselves well enough in defence, because when McKenna made the break in the lead up to the try, it was Taylor, the centre, who was diving across, trying to make the tackle. Now, where were the Wynnum forwards? No wonder Danny Grimley and Ricky Taylor have been high in the tackle counts.
Well, Danny Grimley and Ricky Taylor, they're going to have awfully sore shoulders by the end of the day, the way things are looking.
Now Plath makes a good burst. Plath goes straight through. Taken from behind by O'Neill and Burke. And Burke interferes with the play the ball. And that could be nearly worthy of 10 in the bin. Plenty of referees would feel that he obstructed a potential try-scoring position. Wynnum take the tap and go straight ahead. Replacement on the field is Steve Maltz. Another penalty goes to Wynnum. Again, the Valleys defenders there interfering, pulling the player down. Plath comes back and says, okay, look, let's take our time. Gives it to Greenhill. Close to the post. Plath. Grimley halfway out of the tackle. Rexless held onto him, though. Only a couple of metres out. They go to the blind side. Plath with a short ball, and they've scored. Dale Jensen has dived over, hitting it on to that small hole. Plath fed him the pass, and he made the most of the opportunity. Jensen took the pass well, just a short ball. Plath has been keeping his players going forward in close to the ruck in the last couple of plays, and he found the little hole there.
Steve Platt, he's always thinking, seen they were a little bit short on the blind side, and only a very short pass to Dale Jensen, and it looks like Valley score a try, now Wynnum score a try. The defence on both sides is a bit poor at this stage.
Brad Morgan with a difficult attempted goal here. Has kicked one from 2. It's only a couple of metres in from touch. He hits it well, but I don't think it'll be well enough. Short and wide. So the score remains Valleys 26, Wynnum 10.
I'm sure Brett Daunt will be really roasting the ears off his players for giving away those silly penalties which led up to that good try there by Dale Jensen.
And changes to both teams as Kerr gets play underway. Jeff Hanna is on the field for Valleys. Hanna wearing jersey 14. And he's taken over from Darren Fraser, the hooker. And this is Duncan McDonald-Kerr for Wynnum. He's on the field, jersey 14. Greenhill. Heavy tackle comes in from Valleys. Tweedy will be called out. Punishing tackle. Greenhill has come in for a bit of treatment today. He's dished it out, and he certainly copped some.
Kahu Tweedy there going over the top, and the penalty, well, fair enough.
That's gone against the feed. So Wynnum have it, and Brendan Brown comes in from the blind wing.
Somebody there down in back play there, Warren.
Yes, certainly one of the Valleys forwards has lost a boot by the look of it. As play goes on, out it goes to Taylor. And he's taken to ground 25 metres out. McDonald-Kerr. What a Scottish name that is. Duncan McDonald-Kerr. Greenhill swung to ground by Crowther. A hit to the blind side. Grimley gets it to McDonald Kerr again, to Taylor. He needs support, but he's gone into touch. He needed the support a little earlier there. Taylor was left stranded on the last tackle.
Wynnum in the second half are attacking Valleys down the blind side. I think the coach Seaton seen that Valleys were lacking a little bit down the blind side, so I think you'll find this is where they'll attack.
Tony O'Neill is the Valleys player injured, and he has not moved, still down on the halfway line. As Tweedy gets the ball back, but Kerr goes without it. Now a chance for Jensen. Jensen taken by Kerr, gets it back to Greenhill. He's lost the ball. McKenna pulled it loose, but Wynnum have it once more. Platt hits the blind side. Oh, bad pass. He was looking for Brad Nairn, didn't find him. And now Valleys are down to 11 men. They've got 2 men writhing on the ground. McKenna is hurt down near the goal line. McKenna being assisted from the ground. In fact, it looks as if he has broken or twisted a wrist or elbow. They did bring the stretcher out for him, but he's able to walk from the field. But look, the poor fellow's in agony. The simplest of incidents causing Brett McKenna to leave the field. Really didn't even have a hand on him. It was just when he hit the ground.
Well, Valley's injury toll, it's really rising now. We had McKenzie, he went off there a few weeks ago with a bad knee. They've got their skipper Billy Holmes off the paddock, and now we see Brett McKenna get injured.
This is Fenton. Midway between their own quarter and halfway, Valleys with Hannah. Jeff Hannah's been a busy player since coming onto the field. Retchless at dummy half, gives it to Daunt. Puts the kick ahead. And it's a close thing as Wynnum slow to get onto it. It's towed ahead now by Adams. Another boot. Oh, it's all Valleys. Coming across is Taylor. Hannah dives for it, and Hannah scored. That's great work from Jeff Hannah.
Top check.
I just gave him a rap for being involved in the play around the ruck since coming onto the field, and he's shown great pace there to chase that kick through. It was more like soccer for a while. Ricky Taylor giving chase to the goal line, the last man at home, but Hannah beat them all. Hannah was the one who played the ball at that point. Daunt had O'Neill alongside him. O'Neill was taken out, but then as it comes through, Wynnum slow to cover up here, and Retchless kept it on the toe. Good work by Steele Retchless. And then another boot from Craig Adams, who's just come onto the field. Finally, Taylor and Morgan, or a couple of Wynnum players, colliding virtually. Ricky Taylor comes racing across here, but Hannah beat him to the dive.
Good work again by Brett Daunt. He puts this beautiful little chip over, but watch Steve Platt. The ball is right at his feet here, but why didn't he dive on it? He just let the Valleys player kick the ball. And Jeff Hannah, what a good chase by him. And he just seen that ball. He said, well, I'm going to score this try, and made sure of it, and a good try.
Jeff Hannah, the replacement, making his mark on the game. Kerr has a difficult shot at goal this time. An acute angle, 5 metres in from touch, and he pushes it out to the right. The breeze pushing it out even further. The score remained Valleys 30, Wynnum 10.
Well, Wynnum, they're doing everything wrong. They can't even drop onto loose balls. Even then, the fullback, Brad Morgan, he should have dived on that ball. But the Valleys player kicked it through, and the Jeff Hannah, he's Johnny on the spot and scores a nice meat pie in poor old Wynnum.
Paul play the ball right back. But Donald Kerr comes away with it for Wynnum. Platt. Morgan. Taylor now with men outside him. Jensen cuts through. Jensen for the line. He's very close. Tackled well from behind by Boland. Wynnum still close. They have another go at it, but the ball has been lost over the line. Right in that corner. Taylor it was who went within inches.
Yeah, bad luck here by the Wynnum players. They seen that Valleys were very short out wide. They threw it out wide, got tackled near the line, and nearly scored.
Valleys leading by 30 points to 10. Still 22 minutes remaining in the match.
Number 2, Jared Kerr down in play. Today's resembled a bit like a battlefield, Warren.
Tweedy. Crowther steps beautifully once more. Stepped off his right foot, then off his left. If you can go off both quickly, you're going to beat a lot of players. And here he goes again. He's got support outside him. He tries to set up Hannah. Oh, well, in the end, Brendan Brown got back in between them. It looked as if he should have passed it, but I think Brown had just cut it off. Justin Powers on the field for Wynnum, and he goes Tony O'Neill spearing through. O'Neill scores yet another Valleys try. They've played some skillful football at times, Valleys. Wynnum's defence has been found wanting just as often. Here it was, Brent Dort, who's been the architect of a lot of the play. The short ball to O'Neill, hitting it straight, catches the defence, going the wrong way, on the wrong foot, and a good try to O'Neill.
Well, 10 minutes ago, Tony O'Neill, he was out like a light, and he comes back here and takes this ball on the berth, on the boil, and a good try.
Tony O'Neill, the Valleys 5'8", 28-year-old clerk. And he's played a pretty good game of football out there and bouncing back from that head knock. Jared Kerr with a big future ahead of himself, just 20 years of age. He's kicked 5 from 8. The last 2 have been fairly difficult out near the touchline, but this is where kickers like to see them. And he thumps it right between the sticks once more, and the score becoming embarrassing now. It's Valleys 36, Wynnum 10, still 19 minutes to go.
As Brett Dawn goes across field here, have a look how he holds the ball out so the players can have a good look at it. That's a sign of a great halfback, and O'Neill does the rest of the job.
Scrum's 8-7 to Wynnum. This is Duncan. Grimley is hurt as O'Neill takes them on.
I don't think I've seen a game with so many players that have gone down injured.
No, you said it looks like a battlefield. It's as if someone's taken a machine gun out there and let a few fly.
There's two Wynnum players down on the field now.
Mathers has joined Grimley on the ground. Both struggling back to their feet. And now here goes Brett Dawn, kicking clear. Can he make it 4 for the day? Great pass away to Hannah. Back on the inside to Kerr. That's good football. And Jared Kerr makes it 7 tries for the season. Great backing up there to make the most of the opportunity created by Brent Daunt. It's Valleys 40 now to Wynnum's 10. Here it is, Daunt with the neat piece of footwork. Eric Kennedy really started it happening here as he whips that pass back inside and beautifully pulled in by the halfback who juggled it forward. And he finds support on the inside. Looked as if he might be able to do it all himself. There's another great piece of work here by Hannah and Kerr. And it all started with Eric Kennedy's magnificent pass and good hands from the halfback Daunt.
Eric Kennedy, he is a fine player. Look at him take this ball up, and as he goes down, he's 6 inches off the ground and gets the ball back to Brett Dawn, and he jugged it like a circus performer and gets the ball back to the replacement and onto Kerr, and Kerr scores a great try. This is an embarrassment to Wynnum.
Wynnum handicapped by having one player down on the ground, injured as that try was scored, and another just getting back to his feet. Down to 11 or 12 men, made it even easier for Valleys to cut through, but it was fine football by Valleys, and Kerr adds insult to injury, and Valleys looking for the half century, and still time to do it. They lead 42-10.
Well, Brett Dawn again, always thinking, but as this play is going on, there are two Wynnum players on the ground. Now, unbelievable. It's like a battlefield, and as Kerr scores a try, there's 3 Wynnum players on the ground. Dreadful.
And one of those injured players, Danny Grimley, has left the field, replaced by Darren Whips. And this is Kerr, the try scorer. He hadn't had time to get back to his position. Hannah almost gives away a shepherd, but straightens it up in time. Well, the defence by Wynnum has been sadly lacking at times today. But, Tom, the performance by Valleys. Last year they came 5th, equal 5th, as Kennedy's pass went forward. This year, many people thought that Valleys would go on to make the grand final, but they've been a little shaky of late. What do you think of this performance?
Well, I think of this performance, I said it earlier, I still think they're going in 2nd gear. Well, just woe betide Wynnum if they, like I said, if they get into 3rd gear. But they're still winning the game, and they're going to win very, very convincingly. And I'm sure that they'll be there come September.
Justin Power running to the blind side of the scrum. Penrose. Platt has men out wide, plenty of them too, as Whips gets it going. This is Jensen trying to leap through the tackle.
Well, Jensen took that ball very well. Jensen's had a good game here today. He's been one player that can hold his head up.
Taylor has tried hard as well. Platt to Allen. Throws a pass inside and looked a little forward, but it's play on. Platt turns it on the angle, and it's a try to Wynnum, scored by Darren Whips, who's only been on the field a couple of minutes. He scores to improve that embarrassing scoreline, but Valley's still way, way ahead, 42 points to 14. But still, Wynnum have plugged away when they've had the ball, and here it is with Allen getting a pass inside. Was this pass okay? Looked a little suspect, but Platt took it well, had to react quickly, and he turns it beautifully to Whips, who positioned himself on the angle to cut inside the defence.
Well, Wynnum score a good try here now. Ray Allen, we haven't seen enough of him today. I think he's let Wynnum down badly. But here we see some good football from him. He's a very skillful player. And the young halfback, he's tried his heart out all day and gets a good ball into his teammate, and they score a very late try, but makes the score look like a little bit better.
Darren Whips, who had an under-18 premiership win in 1984 and an under-21 premiership win in 86. And there's 2 more points from Ricky Taylor. So we've had plenty of points scored in this match.
Yeah, Ray Allen again. You see him charge through here. Maybe that pass was a little bit forward, but Darren Whips here, he's a replacement. He was a boy dropped last week, and he scored a try. Maybe he's saying to the coach, well, look at this.
A point-scoring feast here for the footy fans. 58 points have now been scored. 10 tries in all. As I said, maybe the defence could be a bit tighter, but you can't complain about the lack of attack.
And some of the tries seen here today have been brilliant.
Great skills being shown. For example, there with Whips coming on the angle. That turned 3 defenders inside out. And here we go now with Wynnum attacking again from their own half. Jensen plays it back. He has been one of Wynnum's better players. Greenhill strips it away to Taylor. Men inside. The pass is on the ground, but it'll be play on. Mathers, the hooker, got across to back up. We're 30 metres out. 8 minutes of play remaining. Nairn dummying. And still going. Good run from Brad Nairn. The last tackle. Whip signals to the air. Up she goes. High and across field. Kerr underneath it. Can't hang on to it. Kennedy's there, but Wynnum have got it back. 6 more tackles, but it's been lost. And the referee says it was stripped. Says it was stripped from Brad Nairn. Thought he might have dropped it, but referee's given Wynnum another chance. Mathers is going to take the tap. Goes to the blind side to Taylor. Taylor halfway through, just taken by Kennedy by an ankle.
Well, all the penalties seem to be going Wynnum's way. Maybe the ref's trying to even up. Who knows?
McDonald Kerr throws a little dummy, has a go himself. Very close, plenty of Wynnum players there. But there's no defence out wide. Can Wynnum get the ball to the wing? They're going to try it. Goes to Nairn. He's got to let it go. Jensen throws it back on the inside to Nairn, juggling it backward. The referee says it did go forward. So in their panic to get it there, the mistake was made.
Well, if Wynnum ever should have scored a try, it should have been in this position. Valley's had nobody out wide in defence, and all Wynnum had to do was pass the ball. They couldn't even do that right.
And they've run it against the feed. Platt takes off from the scrum base. He's only inches out. And it is a try. Well, the referee says Platt managed to reach out and place that ball down. So some consolation for Steve Platt, the 25-year-old. He won an under-18 premiership with Wynnum in '85, and here he is darting away on the blind side. He got inside Brett Daunt and the other cover defenders. Now, does he get the ball down here okay? Yes, he slams it down just inside the line. Good effort from the halfback. From Mark Walden originally, or at least he played up there in the under-15s, and then came down to Wynnum. 25 years of age. Taylor has taken over the goal kicking from Morgan, and he hooks this one around. Doesn't have the accuracy. So the scoreline certainly improving, and now we've had 62 points scored, but Valleys have got 22 more than Wynnum.
Yeah, young Steve Platt, he's one player that can really hold his head up. He's tried everything. He's tried chip kicks, he's done everything. Good work.
Scrum win against the feed, I suppose. It just caught Valley's defence napping.
Yeah, and young Brett Dawn, he missed a tackle there too, but I think Valleys are becoming complacent, and they're just waiting for the full-time heater.
Eric Kennedy has been given a well-earned rest. Graham Potter is on the field, wearing 17 for Valleys.
Well, that won't hurt Eric Kennedy. He's one player Valleys have to keep in cotton wool, because I think for them to get to that grand final, he has to be on deck.
Interesting to consider a player like Kennedy. Played in the Sydney competition for the Gold Coast and played quite a few first-grade games, but unable to cement a position and then eventually dropping back. You know, it makes you wonder just what is the standard of the Sydney comp when a player as good as Kennedy can't hold down a spot there and go on with it.
Yeah, it's very, very funny, but those players go down there and then they don't actually take the bit between their teeth. But apparently he did play well there for the Seagulls down the coast, but apparently he couldn't get on with coach Bob McCarthy.
And I think he had a few knee injury problems as well. And here go Valleys again. Can Daunt get his fourth this time? He changes direction, gets it away to Boland. Boland for the corner. Desperate defence from Wynnum. Allen got across to him with whips. Still a chance though. Kerr wants his second try. He's held. Wynnum were never back. Let's hope Valleys take a quick tap and go for another four-pointer.
Well, that was a good decision by the referee. He could see that all the Wynnum players were offside, but let the advantage go to Valleys.
Daunt is going to take the tap. He's going to walk right up to the post. What'll he try? Fires the pass to Retchless on the burst. Only a couple of metres out.
You think maybe Brett Daunt should have taken the goal then, Warren?
No. Have a go. Back it goes. Adams keeps it in play well. He's shown soccer skills a couple of times today. He kicked ahead in the lead-up to the try scored earlier by Hannah.
Well, we've seen everything today. We've seen some very, very poor defence, but some good skills.
Boulder now, keeping it at arm's length. Allen with the tackle. They're only 10 metres out. Valley still hungry. Still have that 50-point target in sight, but only 2 minutes of play remaining now. 5 tackles used up. Daunt brings it out to Burke. Now the chance comes. The pass is loose. Handball back by O'Neill. The referee said the pass came forward from, I think it was Adams. McDonald Kerr carries it away for Wynnum, but it's been a sad day for them. The scrums going Wynnum's way 10-8. 2 against the feed. The penalties 11-6 to Wynnum, so they can't complain about the referee. And the overall errors, Wynnum have made 38 to Valleys 20, and you can bet quite a few of those 38 are missed tackles. Overall tackles in possession, Valleys having the better of it, 112 versus 103, but it's been more the errors made in possession rather than the amount of possession that have been costly.
Well, I wonder next week if Coach Gary Seaton drops another 7 players.
Now the referee's given a penalty to Valleys. Said there was a player offside after the ball was dropped ahead. Referee Stuart Burnt. And Daunt looks for touch. There's 1 minute to go now. Unless they get an 8-point try, they're not going to get to 50. But anything's possible.
In this game, it certainly is.
Graham Cotter. Brett Daunt, the man calling the shots as Hannah goes himself halfway through the hole and almost got the pass inside. Hannah to play it to Burke. He goes the blind side. Bad decision, David Burke. Should have got it out the open side. They're only 10 metres out. It was knocked down by a Wynnum hand. They'll get 6 more tackles. The siren's gone, but it's still alive with Retchless. He takes the tackle, loses the ball, and it's all over. Referee calls a halt to an avalanche of points, and the Valleys annihilating Wynnum. 62 points in the match, and Valleys pouring on the points to win 42-20. There were 11 tries in all, 7 tries to 4, 1 every 7 minutes, if you like. For Valleys, the try scorers, 1 to David Burke, 3 to Brett Daunt, 1 each to Hannah, O'Neill and Kerr. Kerr kicked 7 from 10 for 18 points for the match. For Seagulls, Penrose, Jensen, Whips and Platt scored tries. Morgan and Taylor, 1 goal each. For Valleys, players like Kennedy, Retchless and Crowther played well, but our Lang Park Trust man of the match goes to Brett Daunt. Brett, what was the difference between last week's loss to Brothers and today's win?
Actually, the simple thing is enthusiasm, which, there wasn't any enthusiasm there last week, and there was will to win there today.
You would have expected more opposition, particularly in defence from Wynnum.
Yes, true, but they did have 7 blokes, regular A-graders that got dropped this week. But, then again, we had to perform, we had to worry about our game, and our attack's been there, and finally it come through today.
You scored 3 tries. It looked like you could have got 4 at one stage.
Oh, it would have been nice, but I was happy with what I got.
Do you think Valleys now have got the bugs out of their system, go on with it from here?
Yeah, I think we can. We've got to really work on our defence. We've got a few blokes. Billy Holmes is coming back in a couple of weeks from injury, which is going to boost the side again, and hopefully we'll go on with it.
All right, congratulations on today's effort.
Thanks, Warren. Thank you very much.
In the other results, Brothers have just failed to pip Norths. Norths winning 26-24 at Bishop Park. West too good for Redcliffe, 36-16. But in 2 major upsets, Ipswich defeated the competition leaders East 30-12. And at Meakin Park, Logan City too good for Souths, 24-22. The ladder looks like this. East's on top on 20 points. Wests and Norths equal on 18 points in second place. Valleys clear 4th on 14. Souths and Wynnum just outside the top 4 on 12 points. And Brothers now look to be out of business. Some topsy-turvy results this weekend. Will it continue again next weekend? If you can't be at Lang Park on Friday for the 3rd test, hear it on ABC Radio. And then on Saturday, I'll be at Brookvale Oval, looking forward to a spirited encounter between the Magpies and Manly. And then on Sunday, I'll be at Davies Park, where Souths take on East. You can watch that Sunday night with the replay the following Saturday. Join us then.